Surprise, surprise. It's cloudy and gonna rain today. You know, that's been my biggest main complaint since I moved here. When I grew up in Virginia, it was generally sunny in the spring and the summer. It's always humid, and it is still, I thought I saw something move behind me. I think it was just a leaf blowing. Probably a feral cat or maybe a bunny rabbit if something does move up there. I don't think the bears come out. I was going to say in the daytime, but they may not know it's daytime. It's been so gloomy here. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm still in Warrenton, Virginia. This may be the last time I come to you from this particular location. If you watch my other site, or my other channel, Chillin' with Chip, and by the way, I'm Chip. This channel is CP59 Fit, Charlie Papa 59 Fit. Oh, you hear the little bird tweeting? They want to be in the video too. They're probably healthier than all of us combined. But anyway, if you watch my other channel, one of the videos I made a couple weeks ago said that I was becoming a year-round trusted house sitter. Trusted House Sitter is a website, and you'll find my Linktree in the comments, and we're about to replace that with a Koji link, K-O-J-I. And that one will give me some monetization options where you can pay to ask me a question, but I may have it free for the first month. You can give me a tip, and you can pay to have an email answered directly, one I'll actually see. So if you're lucky enough to have my original email address or my cell phone number, you won't have to worry about all those. You can still keep texting. Boy, these birds are loud today. I know why there's so much bird poop on these benches. I always bring a towel to set down so it doesn't stain my britches. But here again, none of that is really what I'm going to talk about today. Welcome to this channel. Welcome to my other channel. I mentioned monetization. I'm going to probably get a little bit of income through the Koji app. I have a little bit of income now through the charity I'm working for, and because I'm going full-time house sitting, I will be getting rid of my rent at the end of this month. Well, time for a little bit of sip. Which between the two will either increase my income or eliminate expenses by about 70% of my total outgo. That's a pretty little butterfly. But anyway, the reason I'm building this channel is number one, to educate you, to help you live a healthier life, but number two, to also make some income over the long haul. So if I can shortcut that by getting an app that allows people to donate to me, basically, I might as well add that on. I'm still learning how it works though, but that's coming soon. So anyway, today I wanted to say, well, I probably should start out. I wanted to say today that I've enjoyed being 45 minutes from my parents and being able to spend a day or an evening a week with them, and longer when the power goes out or the trees all fall down, or I just need to stay with them a night or two. That's always an option. And I'll probably, even though I'm going to be moving around most of the mid-Atlantic region and maybe further, I am in the running for a house sit in the Villages of Florida, which is a retirement community or 55 plus active senior living community. And that is 6.5 weeks in all of October, half of November, and I think a week in September. And the 2 weeks prior to that, I'm going to be in North Carolina near Carolina Beach. So I may have most of September, all of October, and part of November in warm climates. And then that one, if I get the one in Florida, they're supposed to make a decision sometime this weekend. But I've also been asked to do one in Bowling Green, Virginia, the first 2 weeks of November. Excuse me, just had my first meal of the day, and it's deciding to talk back. Anyway, Bowling Green is probably 2.5 hours from my parents' house, and they actually asked me if I would sit for them. They thought I'd be a good match. So I had to tell them, well, I'm in the running for one in Florida at the same time, so give me till Wednesday. If I don't hear from them or they don't accept me, I will get back with you. I don't know if she liked that answer or not, but it was honest. I'd hate to accept that one and then have to cancel because I got the one in Florida. But on the other hand, I don't know that I want to go all the way to Florida, even though it would be much nicer weather-wise. Although I think they had a picture of a hot tub on the one in Bowling Green on their back deck, but she didn't say whether the sitter could use it or not, so who knows. But one thing I've learned, well, I knew beforehand, but you obviously, it's kind of drilled into you at an active senior community, is that none of us get out of here alive. I see people in their 90s there, in their hundreds, and in their 70s and 60s. And some of the 60s and 70s are doing worse than the hundreds and 90s. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about, if none of us get out of here alive, then why are we all trying so hard to prolong it? And if we're going to prolong it, why don't we do it the way that we enjoy the most? Why am I coming across like that? Well, the house that I have near my parents, I got to meet the owners and the dog. The dog and I really get along well. The owners, I guess last Monday I met them. And the owners are 100% whole food, plant-based. And so they were very concerned about my health because I'm eating saturated fats. We didn't get into an argument, but we definitely got into a discussion when she said, "Oh, the worst thing you can eat is saturated fats." I'm like, "Oh, really? Where'd you get that info? Oh, let me send you stuff and keep an open mind." Well, anyway, she sent me a video, and I told her I'd watch it on my sit this weekend, which I'm not on my sit because I'm sitting in my office here at the neighborhood. Oh, these pollen is getting me. I got some flavored water today. I'm not done with Diet Mountain Dew, but I'm not drinking it like I have an IV in my arm anymore, so I'm cutting way back on it. I'll maybe get to that at another time. But anyway, she sent me a video, and I told her I'd watch it in Roanoke this weekend, but that owner actually called me Friday as I was going to Harrisonburg to sit with the Papa Pal app person, that she had pulled or pinched a nerve in her neck and wasn't going to be wanting to go camping and lying on the ground. I said, "Oh, that sounds reasonable. I still have my apartment, so I can just stay here and get packed up a little bit more." So that, I guess, kind of worked out for the better, because I got to spend last evening, having dinner and playing another game of marbles with my parents and their neighbor. So I am almost finished here, packing-wise. I'll finish up this evening. I'll take the last of what I'm going to put in the storage up near my parents tomorrow night. But why? Oh, but the video, let me tell you the video. It was some doctor, some vegetarian doctor, obviously, or animal-based. And I finally got a definition of what animal-based is. It's the food pyramid, basically. He said an animal-based diet is based on grains and legumes, two of the things I almost never touch. So that kind of pretty much put me in the mindset I didn't want to hear what he had to say, but the title of the video was something like, "Could sausage ever be healthier than kale?" And in this 45-minute interview, he used healthy health terms all the way through, but he never defined what he meant by health. That's a problem on YouTube when you don't define what you're talking about. I've been very clear on this channel that I am on a low-carb, healthy fat diet. I am high on saturated fats. And it was funny that this vegan or vegetarian or whatever they are, the lady goes, "Well, you actually look very healthy." So I'm like, yeah, that's because I eat saturated fats and whole food meat, animal products. So anyway, I did watch or listen to the whole video as I was driving to Roanoke, or Harrisonburg and back, and then to my parents and back last night. And I've never wanted to vomit so much watching a YouTube video. But he was basically saying to sprout lentils, and you can eat those for cheap, but only get organic. Otherwise, you might get E. coli. Ugh. You might get E. coli on animal-based also, but it's less likely because we cook our food, usually. I mean, you can eat hamburger raw. I don't, but you can. But anyway, I thought, and you look at some of these vegetarian animal. Oh, a groundhog just came out in front of me, came out of the wood line. I think it's a groundhog. He's eating grass like he's supposed to. Animals, yeah, that we're going to eat. Well, I'm not going to eat a groundhog, but you could. I prefer my vegetables processed into meat like God intended. So anyway, I haven't responded to her text yet. I just told her I'd watch it with an open mind. But that doctor closed my mind pretty quickly. But what I was getting ready to say is, any of the vegetarian, vegan doctors you see on YouTube, do you really want to look like them when you grow up? Do you really want to have to eat 20 pounds of vegetables every day and poop about 15 pounds. I kind of like that on carnivore. You poop and you fart a whole lot less, like almost none. Well, you poop a little bit, but you hardly ever fart. And sometimes you even get a ghost wipe, which means you can't even tell you went when you clean up. If you haven't experienced that, then you're too high on carbs, because carbs tend to make it a little bit messy. Too many carbs. I can tell when I eat more carbs from the other end. Also, the scale goes up. But honestly, I wanted to say, if we're looking to live healthy longer, why don't we do it enjoyably? You know, I'm perfectly happy eating hamburger with cheese melted in it, sometimes a little bit of macaroni, because that is made from glucose. And yeah, I've learned a lot about sugar, and I'm getting the videos ready. So we're going to start today. I'm going to tell you that glucose is the energy of life. Every cell in your body uses glucose. So when you eat glucose, you can gain weight if you eat too much. Glucose is not your table sugar. Glucose is not what you have in drinks. That's sucrose. That's 1 part glucose, 1 part fructose. Fructose is the Satan incarnate. 30% of your intake of fructose goes directly to fat. So you want to gain weight, have the fructose coming in. But for about 2 weeks now or so since I've been working on it, I've been adding a little bit of pasta back in, a little bit of bread back in, because that's pure glucose. Unless the bread has sugar added. But I bought this really expensive bread. I didn't buy it. They sent me that little feller's just really enjoying his grass that's probably sprayed with some kind of pesticide, because they were doing some kind of treatment out here last week. Poor little fella. Anyway, oh, the bread. I got a welcome card for a $10 gift card to the Great Harvest Bread Company, I don't know, down there on Main Street. I guess down there on Main Street in Warrenton. Maybe it's over there. I don't know. But anyway, on Main Street, I think it's called Main Street, in the Old Town part of Warrenton, which you may have seen me standing by a mural when Judy and I went to the lavender farm, and we came here to eat lunch. Anyway, so they have all these sourdough breads and pumpernickel breads and all that out, and I said, oh, there's no prices. So I asked the lady, well, what's the price on this bread? And she's $9.99. So I have this $10 gift card. She said, okay, we're just going to cover it all. And they even sliced the sourdough real thin for me, which is nice. I sometimes buy sourdough at Aldi, which is a grocery store chain, kind of close here. I generally get it on the way to my parents because there's not one right in town. But their sourdough is about $3, and over at the Safeway or the Giant, it's like $5 or $6. So 10 is quite steep, but they say, you know, it's like unbleached flour, probably organic, who knows, but I'd never pay $10 for a loaf of bread. But I am adding in a little bit of bread, and I am in a little bit of pasta, and my weight is continuing to decline. So as of today, I am still in the overweight, not obese category. So yay! Even with, we had beef stroganoff at Mom and Dad's restaurant thing last night. That was a lot of pasta. But my blood sugar was only 97 when I got home, so that's perfect. That means it had gone up and it came back down. So that's your, oh, he's looking at me like I'm not dinner, dude. You might be dinner, but I'm not. I'm not going to be eating my groundhog. But anyway, I was talking about blood glucose. Oh, and the pasta. And my weight's still going down. Oh, that's because very little of glucose actually makes it to your liver. And if you're not metabolically unfit, which I was, but now I'm better since I've been on this diet for a couple of years, then your insulin will go up and well, when your insulin goes up, it puts all the what's called glycogen, which is what the liver turns glucose into, of the glucose that gets to the liver. But when you eat glucose, it runs to all your cells first. So only like 20% of your glucose actually makes it to the liver. So you really only get about half a calorie of fat out of 2 pieces of bread, or probably 120 calories of pasta. The video I watched was everything was 120 calories of glucose, 120 calories of ethanol, and 120 calories of sucrose or fructose, because they're all interconnected. And I will do whole videos on each of those, but just know I am experimenting for you, for me, for all of us, and I will share it more. But this may well be the last video from this bench under this tree on this cloudy hillside which always seems to be, oh, yesterday was sunny. Of course, I packed up and I went to my parents, and I went to the hot tub. Woohoo! And that's another reason I'm cutting out the Mountain Dew. My kidney results were not so good on my last blood test. I haven't gone over the results of those with you yet, but I don't think it had anything to do with diet. I think it had to do with me drinking too much Diet Mountain Dew, which has kind of given me lower back pain while I've been moving, which I think I mistakenly thought was lower back pain, and it was probably kidney pain. So cutting out the Diet Mountain Dew, excuse me, the back pain is basically gone, even though I kind of felt like I tweaked it picking up a box yesterday to move into the storage. But all is good. This will all be over by Thursday. I'll be in Fredericksburg at my new first house sit, which should have been my second. Oh, my apologies. There must be something in the air out here. Probably dander from the groundhog. I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking forward to making some really great videos on you on how to get healthy. But in the meanwhile, figure out what you want out of life and how you want to live it. And don't make anybody make you eat stuff you don't want because they call it healthful or healthy. If it tastes like broccoli, it probably is broccoli. In fact, he was saying broccoli was the healthiest thing you could eat, calling it a superfood. Maybe for that groundhog it is a superfood, but for this carnivore it is not. I have eaten broccoli. I followed all those guidelines right after the stroke. Then I learned. In fact, that doctor reminded me of a USDA food pyramid commercial. Eat more grains, get fat. Eat more grains, get healthy. Yeah, but they should be saying get fat because that's what's going to happen. So I don't eat a lot of bread, but I'm okay with bread at this point because things change as you get more knowledge. As I share more knowledge, your diet may change also. But before I cough your ears out again, I'm going to say goodbye. God bless. Please subscribe at the little button over there and leave me a comment down below if you enjoy this. Thanks. Bye-bye.